Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the next class on Shaar Habitachon. Really excited to have everyone here and be able to join wherever you are. Again, this is a class that's really for myself to be able to learn and obviously share. We always say if you know Aleph, you teach Aleph. If you know Beis, you teach Beis. You teach whatever you know in life, try to teach. And so I'm really excited to be able to do this because it's something that's important. We go through these really challenging times every day, every minute. We could have a good minute, a bad minute. But if we remember where the source is, where we're striving for, where we should go towards, it's going to change everything. So that's why Shaar Habitachon, it's over 1,000 years old, and it's still relevant, really, really relevant today. And so we're going to jump right in. Again, it's a 15-minute class where we have 10 minutes on Shaar Habitachon, which is a gate of trust. If someone wants to buy this, the Shaar Habitachon in English, tell me, and I will send you the link for it. You can get it on Kahat. You can get it on a lot of different places. They sell it in a lot of Jewish bookstores. Phenomenal. Has a lot of commentary on it. So just a great, great, great safer to have. Okay, and then we also have after that we have the Rebbe Responsa app, which is a letter from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Always fascinating letters which he sends. There were thousands of letters that came to Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he would write back to people, and we'd be able to learn a lot from each of the letters. So really exciting to learn that as well. And if there's ever a point someone wants to be able to dedicate a class, you could definitely do that. And today's class is dedicated in memory of Josh Harris. Okay, so the last class we talked about was there were 10 ways that someone with bitachon was greater than an alchemist, which alchemist was someone that literally had all the money in the world. There was no worry for him. He had everything he needed. And we went through the 10 ways. And so today we're not going to go into them because we were talking about how someone that has bitachon, someone that has trust in Hashem, is even greater than the richest person out there. And that's what's awesome about this is there's so many challenges a person could face when they think that that they have everything they have and they forget where it's really coming from. So today what we're going to be learning about is really about the advantages that we have of someone that the Torah advantages, which is someone that is we're going to see right now that someone that uses out their money for a proper way. So what happens? Among the advantages of bitachon with regard to Torah observance is that the person who places his trust in Hashem will use his finances correctly. And what does that mean? That means that someone that has money or doesn't have money, we're going to see over here where they're spending their money. It's not being spent on wasted things. They're not having this fear. So it says, for if he has money, he will hurry to fulfill his obligations to Hashem, to God, such as buying kosher tefillin, tzitzit, extra food for Shabbat meals, and the like. And he's going to use his money out for things that are be able to enhance his connection to Hashem, be able to use it for good things. And we said last week, we shared the story of a person that was a billionaire and he couldn't even go up to heaven. He asked his kids, one wish that I have was to go up to heaven with when I die, I should be buried with socks. And he was a God-fearing Jew, and you're not allowed to. And even that he couldn't take with him. So a guy can have all the money in the world, but it doesn't go with you further. But on the other hand, someone that uses out his money for the right things, it changes it. First of all, he connects to Hashem better, but also he fulfills his obligations. He does positive things with it. That's amazing. That's really doing something very positive with it. And we see over here that as well as fulfilling his obligation to other people, such as fulfilling the commandment of charity, giving out loans to those in need, and so on, he will do so willingly and generously. And he's not worried about tomorrow. Okay, you know what? I have to give charity right now. I have to buy something. I have to go pay for my kids' tuition. I have to do this, whatever it may be. He's not worried, okay, I can't have to hoard all this money. I'm not going to let go of it. No, I know that I'm going to have it all tomorrow. I know I'm going to be fine. So I could go spend the money on the right things right now because I have abundant wealth. So if he does not have money, he will pay attention to the fact that the lack of money is actually a kindness from Hashem upon him. How so? This is because, so now we're talking about a poor person. That a person that because of a lack of money, he has been relieved of the obligations to Hashem, to other people, which would have been incumbent upon him due to his money. So again, someone that doesn't have money, a lot of times, again, if you don't have money, you can't give charity. Okay, fine. So you've taken that off. Again, someone that has a lot of money, they have to be able to constantly give, and it's a challenge as well. There's a famous thing, I heard this from Rabbi Shais Taub, who has an amazing class on Shaar Habitachon, but he was saying how there was a poor person that asked a rich person, like, why is it that, how they used to do, they used to give their tzedakah, was they would have a pen of animals, let's say, and you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They would go through a door, and on the 10th one, you would mark it, and that's the one that goes out to charity. And then you do 11, 12, 13, 14. You keep on going through every 10, you would mark it again, and then that animal would be right away used for that. That animal would be now designated for charity. So he was like, why don't they just do it at one time? You say, hey, I have 1,000 right now animals. I have 1,000 cows, and I'll give 100 away. And he's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Someone that has it's so it plays with you. Wait, I'm giving away 100 cows. I can't do that. Someone that has $1 million right now, and they have to give $100,000 of charity at one point. They'll be like, I can't do that. It's too much. I can't. That's 10% of my wealth is all gone right now. So Hashem's very smart and says, you know what? This is the way you have to do it, where it's little by little. It doesn't change. It doesn't make you struggle as much. So now he also said that another advantage of being wealthy is he also has a fewer worries about guarding his money and taking care of it. As Bitachon said regarding one of the pious men, that he would say, may God save me from the scattering of the mind. And they asked him, what's scattering of the mind? And I'm just going to say over here, what's scattering of the mind? When a person, this is the exact picture of it. Your head is everywhere. And there was a beautiful thing it said. It was constant worry drives a person insane to the point where he cannot appreciate anything. You got to remember that for a second. What is that? You have so many things on your head, you can't even think properly. And you just can't rest. You're not calm. And what does it say? What is the scattering of the mind? He replied that where I have to have money at the port of each river and the heights of each city. So what's that saying? That a person who is wealthy often has possessions in many locations. As a result, his thoughts are scattered in different places, referred to as the scattering of the mind. Check this out. Look at this picture for a second. This is overwhelming. Overwhelming. You see the ships in the background. You see there's a port, all these containers. Now imagine you're saying right now, well, I have these shipments coming in, I have this going in, this going in, this. You can't even be able to be rest. You can't be calm. Now again, there's people that do it, but it doesn't mean that it's not challenging for them, that their head's not, it's 2 a.m. right now. Wait, there's a shipment that's meant to be coming. Did it come? Did it not? Okay, now over here I have this real estate that's going on, and all of a sudden your head starts getting everywhere. So again, there's that challenge as well. Someone that has all the property, all the assets, it could be a very, very challenging thing. So this is what it's going to continue saying right now. This is what the sages of blessed memory meant when they said, the more possessions, the more worry. And when they also said, who is truly wealthy? A person who is content with his lot. And I think that's something true. It's not about being rich. It's not about being poor. Be happy with what we have. We have beautiful things if we just wake up and see that. And I think the biggest thing that we could use in our life, just take this for a second. Someone went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. You said to him, what's your favorite tefillah? What's your favorite prayer? And he said his favorite one is the first one of the morning. What is that? You're thanking Hashem that I'm alive, that I came up and I woke up this morning. That's the biggest miracle out there. Whether I have $1 million, whether I'm going to have this business dealing tomorrow, what's going to be tomorrow, what's going to be later today, you're alive. You're alive. You know what? So today you don't have it. Also today you have your mortgages due, you have your rent due, and you don't have any way to pay it. But you're alive. You're kicking. You're well. Compared to someone that's in the ground, they can have all the money in the world, but they have nothing. That's the most amazing thing to realize, is be happy with what we have. And a person who trusts in Hashem will receive all the benefits of the money. I mean to say, the benefits of his livelihood, while the disturbing thoughts of a wealthy person and his constant worry will be withheld from him. So just because you're a billionaire, it doesn't mean you don't have those constant worries. And I heard this a few months ago from someone who was telling me, he's like, there's a billionaire he knows that he lost He lost over $1 billion. The guy, and he's like, the guy's very, very in like a bad state. He's worried right now. I'm like, the guy has billions of dollars and he's worried that he lost $1 billion. I totally get that it's like it's a lot of money. It's more than I've ever seen in my life, But still, the challenge we have is he has more than everything else and he's worried about it. And he can't sleep properly. He has all the money he needs and he still can't sleep. He can't think properly. So, as the wise man King Solomon said, the sleep of the laborer is sweet, whether he eats little or much. Which that means that someone that's working doesn't have a lot of money. He works his day-to-day job. Whether he's just calm, he's relaxed. Just life is good. As his family, as his kids, he has everything. Just the basics. But the satiety of the rich, when he has a lot, overabundance of the rich, does not allow him to sleep. And this is something very, very powerful for us to remember. Just because someone's driving a Lamborghini down the road, it does not mean that they're being content with themselves. It does not mean they have everything. That's something we have to realize. Be happy with what we have. Who is a person that's happy? A person who's content with what he has. Today's letter was written to Major General Jack M. Forrest Jr. This was on the 20th of Teves, 26th of December, 1983. I thought it was just a very nice thing. It brought in a piece about trust in Hashem. So this is the U.S. forces in Grenada. Greetings and blessings. I'm pleased to acknowledge the receipt of your kind letter on December 9th, 1983. And again, Rabbi Shais Taub was giving a thing about this. You had to write back then. There was no timestamp on these letters. So, people would be sending letters. There wasn't the email where you have a timestamp or WhatsApp that you know exactly what time, what day it came. So you're saying this is when it was, from this and this letter. It is gratifying to know how much you and the Jewish servicemen under your command in Grenada appreciate Rabbi Goldstein's services, especially during Hanukkah. And just remember, Rabbi Goldstein is a very famous chaplain. I think he's retired now. He was the one there's a famous picture of a rabbi from the U.S. Army that was on the seat of Saddam Hussein's throne. So this is Rabbi Goldstein. So on my part, I take pleasure in expressing sincere thanks to you for extending to our emissary every cooperation to facilitate his carrying out of his duties as a Jewish chaplain, to make it easy for him. I'm particularly appreciative of your splendid cooperation helping Rabbi Goldstein carry out a specially significant assignment, namely the printing of the book of Tanya in Grenada. So this was something. Tanya is from the first Chabad Rebbe, and they would print it in a lot of places. Even today, they try printing it all over the world. It's a very special thing to do. So this 18th century Chabad classic expounds a philosophy and a way of life permeated with profound awareness of the Supreme Being, meaning it talks a lot about God, and whose benevolent divine providence extends to all his creatures, to nations, as well as to every individual human being, meaning everything that we're living, we're breathing, whatever's happening, it extends to everyone, to everything. And he was able to print this book. It is a philosophy that inspires trust in God, a feeling of optimism and confidence, which is what we need. We need confidence and we need optimism. We don't need to hear all the negative thoughts of the news every second. We're driving ourselves crazy hearing the news. Dedication to the time-honored moral values and a deeply felt responsibility to promote all that is good, indeed vital for a wholesome and meaningful human society. Again, think about the good, the positive in life. Many of these concepts are, of course, part of the American way of which the morale of the American servicemen rests. Should there be a suitable opportunity, I'll be very pleased if you would convey my warm sentiments and thanks to all those of rank and file who were helpful with you in making Rabbi Goldstein chaplaincy such a memorable experience, with esteemed blessings. So again, he's thanking not only the Major General, but he's also thanking all the servicemen that were with him as well. P.S. With reference to your remarks about trying to talk Rabbi Goldstein into entering active duty as a chaplain, insofar as I am familiar with his family obligations, it's amazing how the Lubavitcher Rebbe thinks about every person. Again, one person's concern is not concerned, wants, Rabbi Goldstein to be able to be a chaplain full-time. And here he is, I think he was in the National Guard. And it says, into entering active duty as a chaplain, insofar as I'm familiar with his family obligations, including personal supervision of his young children's education, and also as the head of the family in a broader sense, including aging parents needing his moral support, etc., I doubt whether he could, in all consciousness, accept the responsibilities of a chaplain for an extended period, with the peace of mind and dedication that he would expect of himself. Fascinating how he cares and thinks about every person. That's our job. Wishing you all an incredible day. It's going to be a good one. Again, we got to get this out of our head, and we're going to have just a phenomenal, phenomenal day.